Brother Branham, when someone gets on me or steps on my toes, this might be a good one, steps on my toes, as the old saying is, my temper rises. How can I overcome this thing? I know the Lord will have to do it, but what can I do in my heart? I don't want this thing. Sweeten your temper with prayer. Then make up your mind. I don't guess there's too many people in this building ever had any more temper than I did to begin with. Oh, I had a mouth mashed all the time. And I'd taken a lot of my meals out of a straw. My mother, as you know, was a half Indian. And my father was an Irishman, a Kentucky Irish at that. And every one of both of them had enough temper to fight a buzzsaw. And all the time my mouth was mashed. I was little to begin with. And they just picked me up and knocked me down. And I'd get up again and knock me down again until I just got unable to get up anymore. That's all it was. And then when I got able to get up, I got up again and knocked me down again. So that's just the way I had it. Now I thought, I could never be a Christian. But when the Holy Spirit came into my life, that done it. No more. I had a woman one time, I went to have to cut the lights off. That day I had hair on top of my head. She said, "You little kinky-headed idiotic." I told her, I said, "Woman, you oughtn't to curse like that. Don't you fear God?" She said, "You little kinky-headed idiotic. If I wanted somebody to talk to me about things like that, I wouldn't get a half-wit like you." Whew. And then she called me a blankety name. Oh my. If that had been a year farther, I always said a man to strike a woman wasn't man enough to strike a man. But I might have broke that at that time, calling my mother a bad name like that. But you know what? It never even fazed me. I said, "I will pray for you." Never bothered. I know right then something happened to me. Yes, sir. Oh my. You know the evils that I done when I was a kid. Fighting, almost killed 5 men at one time. Took a rifle loaded with 16 shots. And when them boys beat me because I was a Kentuckian. No other reason. I couldn't even hold my head up. One would hold me by hands like this, and the other stand out the rock in his hand and pound me in the face so I just lifeless. Nothing in the world. They called me a Kentucky squab because my mother, when she was young, she sure looked like an Indian. Looked at her picture a while ago, and they knowed she was a half Indian. And because I was Kentucky and her being a squaw, they called me a squab, a Kentucky squab. And I had nothing in the world to do into it. I couldn't help because I was born in Kentucky. I went down there to school, and I didn't have no clothes to wear, and my hair hanging down my neck. And Mom took Pop's old coat that he was married in and cut it up and made me a pair of pants to wear to school my first time. And she dressed me with a pair of white stockings on and a pair of tennis shoes. And they said, "If you don't look like a windy Kentuckian," and then that went on all my school days. And a couple of boys, because I walked down the road with some little girl and packed her books, they didn't want me to do that, and they met me down there and beat me till I was simply unconscious. I told them if they just let me go, I promised that I would go right straight home. And so they let me loose, kicked me 4 or 5 times, knocked me down, scraped my face all over. And I went home like this up to the broom stage field. I had a little .22 Winchester rifle laying up over the door. Reached up and got that rifle full of bullets. Went right down through the locust thicket and hid by the side of the road till these 5 or 6 boys come along there. Just waited till they come, and when they come out talking, said, "That Kentuckian will realize where he's at from this on," going on like that. I stepped up with a hammer, pulled back on the rifle. I said, "Now, which one of you wants to die first? So you won't watch the others." They started squealing. I said, "Don't squeal, because you're all going to die one by one." Now, a minute. And just then they started squealing. I pulled up and snapped. The gun snapped. I threw another shell in, snapped. It snapped. Another shell, snapped. It snapped. And I pumped 16 shells on the ground. Every one of them snapped. And them boys running and screaming and diving over the hill and everything. And after they left, I stood there. When I get so angry till I wouldn't cry, I laughed like an idiot, and tears run out of my eyes. Now that's a temper. And if it hadn't been for God, I'd been a murderer. And I picked up them shells and put it back in the rifle, and pow, pow, they'd shoot just as good as ever. Talk about grace.